My name is LaCasse. I am the owner of SEO Expert Las Vegas. Also, my other domain is AI, SEO Expert Las Vegas. I've been doing SEO for the last 6 years, which was irrelevant when June came out this year and AI mode basically changed the industry overnight. SEOs knew that this was going to happen. We already knew with AI overviews and zero search clicks that SEOs had to adapt. And this is one industry full of nerds and statisticians, so we knew exactly how to make this work for us. So in this presentation, I'm going to give you the broad strokes as to how a website should look if you want to be seen by AI. Now, the first thing I want to let you know is that there was a statistic that was brought out yesterday in the SEO circles, which was the convergence event between old school Google search and LLMs. The amount of searches for the old school SERP is going down as LLMs are going up. That convergence event is October of 2030. There is enough data to support that after October 2030, more people will be using LLMs to do their searching than Google to find the search results. That gives every business owner 5 years. You have 5 years to adjust your website so that it's seen by AI, because this event is happening. 5 years may be a long time, but for certain industries, that's not enough time, right? So I just wanted to give that out to you, let you guys know that there is a time clock on this. All right. So what I like to do in my beginning of my presentations is to let you know what SEO or AI SEO is really about. And it's a process in which your website is not only seen by people, but by AI as well, right? You get seen by having visibility, relevance, and trust. Those are the 3 markers that have to be shown through your content, through what you're saying in your website, so that AI, and more importantly, people, find your website. So, these are the 4 attributes of the old search algorithm, which is called search intent. Every single word that we used in the internet to find what's the nearest bike shop near me, how do I log into Netflix, if I want to buy, what's the most affordable plumber in Las Vegas. Everything we searched was categorized into one of these 4 categories for decades. With AI, we can eliminate 2 of them. Informational intent is name, address, phone number, physical location of a business. It is informational. It tells what you do, where you're doing it at, how they can get in contact with you. We can eliminate this. This is gone. AI has completely taken this over.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Okay, so what does this mean? I'm sorry, what does this mean for Google My Business Profile?
Google My Business Profile is going to be integrated into the LLMs. It's still an important part. You're talking about local SEO, right? So that's a completely different category from informational intent. And even informational intent, the Google My Business Profile fulfills that, and you have no control of it. You just created the profile, right? So informational intent is gone. You don't have to worry about that because that's what LLMs have generated. Navigational. This is a leaving of Google's old search to go somewhere else. Facebook login, Netflix login. You're leaving the search results page to go somewhere else. That is gone as well because most of us use bookmarks, and we're just going to click off of it anyway. Transactional. This is where people are looking to buy. Best, affordable, cheapest, luxury. These are the words associated with someone ready to buy. This is what we still can control. You have every opportunity with your website to narrow in to transactional intent words. Commercial intent is what you sell. How are you selling? How are you letting people know that you're the best, the most affordable, the cheapest, the most luxurious? Transactional and commercial intent are always going to have a symbiotic relationship. One reflects the other as much as commercial reflects transactional. If you are ranking for commercial intent words, you're already ranking for transactional, because if you let people know why they should choose you, they're going to start choosing you, right? Moving on. So how do you get ranked in the old system from search intent? And the acronym is EEAT. Experience, expertise, authority, and trust. These 4 words are the definitive copy that you will use in your social content, in your website, anything that has to deal with the internet and how you get customers. Here's an example. Say we all had a bike shop, and we all have a collective, cumulative, decades of understanding of bikes, different types of bikes, repairs, all this stuff. Our experience would be what we would talk about. We've been in the bike business for 20 plus years. Because of that, we are the experts in finding the right bike for you in Las Vegas. Because of that, we are the authority on how someone can find a bike and be part of a bike community in Las Vegas. We're the most trusted bike shop in Las Vegas. Those 4 sentences can be disposed and rewritten to gain experience, trust, and authority for your website. There is no other way around it in the SEO world. These are the 4 pillars to get people to see that you actually know what you're talking about. And you keep on saying it different ways on different platforms. You'll know it works because your customers will say, yes, you do have the experience. Yep, I know that guy. He knows what he's talking about. Now you are establishing social proof on top of your EAT, right? So let's get into the specifics of this presentation. Invisible to AI, why most websites don't exist in search anymore. After June of this year, 2025, when AI mode came out, a lot of SEOs just put our hands in our face. We said, oh, this is it. Everyone was talking about how SEO is dead. As of today, it's not even close to being dead, because this is what the problems most website owners have. They don't know how to get seen in AI, period. They want to get seen by AI. They don't know what that actually means. So right there in the very first sentence, most business owners assume their website shows up somewhere on Google or AI search. The truth is, it probably doesn't. The reason is because of the structure. We have to look at our websites and break it down more simple. So what does that mean? No videos, no animations, meat and potatoes of what your business does. H1, the top of your website, the first thing that someone reads should be a declarative EEAT statement that lets people know that problem that you solve is solved here right now.
In the hero.
Yep, in the hero section. AI search engines like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Google AI Overviews don't read the whole site. They only read parts they trust. Again, EAT, we know for a fact LLMs are only going to give bits of information from a website that has proven trust. How do you get trust? You talk about what you have been doing that makes you an expert in your field or your website. And if your website has low authority or a weak structure, it is invisible. Without visibility, you are pitching blind, right? What does this mean? If you have, the biggest one of them all is spelling errors. You got to proofread your websites. But simplicity is the game. What is it in the most short amount of space on your website lets people know that you have solved their problem? And how do you back it up? How do you let people know, hey, this is what I do, but I've been doing it for this long. These people here have said I've done a good enough job. Therefore, I'm trusted. It's a different way of looking, because this is what AI is looking for. They're looking for the best. They're going to reward the best. And you have to start thinking to yourself, when it comes to this website, why am I the best? What have I done that makes me the best at this in this business? AI doesn't read pages, it reads chunks. So this is a new terminology in the AI SEO world called chunking. It has nothing to do with the paragraph that you wrote for your bio. AI breaks it into pieces for people that are looking for a specific element of who you are as a person, and then takes it and then gives it as a response. It's called the chunking method. AI breaks down your website into chunks, sorts sections of text with meaning. So, pictures of you in front of the Bellagio, in front of the dog and the family, that doesn't have a whole lot of meaning, but you being in your industry for 10 years, getting a reward or a certificate with you in that photo and saying, this is what I got for being the best in my industry in 2002, that has meaning, and AI will pay attention to that. Only the strongest, clearest pieces of information make it to AI overviews and chat responses. Only the best. This is going to separate a lot of people from what they think a website should look like to what AI rewards as what the best responses are, right? So we want to think of, get away from the old SEO mentality. The blue links are gone. They will be gone in 5 years. Some of the blue links will be integrated into Gemini. Some of the blue links will be integrated into ChatGPT. We have to let go of the idea of more words on our website means more visibility. Visibility is gone. It's dead. Keywords and links. Keywords are important because you need to have people see that you are expanding your business into blogs and content and acquiring new people to come to your website. But the whole adage of ranking page 3 for a keyword on your website, those days are done, right? It doesn't matter. And the statistics actually show that even ranking from the old school page 3 to page 6 actually gets seen by AI more. Why? Because you're talking about that keyword. You're putting more relevance and trust into that keyword. And LLMs are not just picking, our old school page 1. They're looking through the entire data set for a specific word. And if it meets the criteria of what you put and it's only on page 6 from the old system, you have a very good chance of it actually getting mentioned because you have stuff built around it, right? Now the new SEO in the AI world is going to be centered around structure and meaning. So say we have a bike shop, and we're going to start building this bike shop into the new AI. We don't want to talk about specific models. We want to break it down to specific categories and what that category means for that bike. So if someone's looking to your shop to do a bike, go up into the mountains, go off-road, you don't want to just have a list of the best mountain bikes. You want to talk about the different attributes that bikes have, experiences that people have had with those types of bikes. You still want the picture, you still want the price, but you want people to talk about the experience. You want to talk about, this is the type of bike that I like to go for this bike ride. And more importantly, you want to have a structure outside of a bike shop. Coffee shops around your bike shop, a community, a email list. You want to expand just the fact that you're a transactional bike shop into what the ecosystem is. That gives it meaning, right? Not only are they buying a bike from you, but they're also buying an experience. They're buying into a community. If your business can gently move into other audiences, you have a very good opportunity of expanding your market because you're bringing in different types of businesses that work with the same audience. It's not competition, it's just working in a holistic arena, right? That is what LLMs are paying attention to. Why? It's interacting with humans. It's not a list anymore. It's not 3 ads at the top of the page and a map pack. It's actually people that want to have an experience. Who has made the effort to make that more visible on a website? That's the new future. Good.
Yeah, you're mentioning there that part of the old structure was links, but then part of the new structure, new SEO has structure included in it. Where do like internal link structures fit into that? Is that like less important now or just as important?
It's just as important because because every website should have some kind of strategy for expansion, whether it's a blog, short form videos, instructionals, something that they can continually contribute to. The internal linking score is very important because if AI got mentioned for cafe rider bikes in Las Vegas, but at the very bottom of that page, oh, are you interested in off-road, or are you interested in something for your kids? These links go to those places. That's internal linking. And because you want to keep people on your page so that they understand and read more, that's where internal linking comes into. It's still more important than ever, but again, when we're coming up on designing a website, what is the structure? What is the path that you want these people to come through? You have to take the time to do that now instead of just throwing pages up on a wall and see what sticks, right? There has to be a plan involved. Low authority, oh, go ahead.
Okay, so how does it affect advertising? But it was the last thing you said before you asked the question. That was my question. It affects the advertising because you said it's not just a few links at the top of the search engine. A lot of those are sponsored links.
Yep.
So basically, if I'm searching Google and finding what I need without accessing Google, then it seems like what? It may take away from some of the impressions and things on those advertisements. Right?
Yep, it's called zero-click searching, right?
It's called what?
Zero-click searching. It is Google's attempt to actually completely decimate the small business website owner by giving them the answer in the first three. And we all know this. If you type up a simple question on the Google search panel and it gives you that 3 sentences that answers that question, that is AI overviews. That's an LLM. That is their attempt to get rid of you making a decision based upon 10 links. It gives you the answer. And that's the decimation of the informational intent.
So with AI mode, do you know inside, like, do they have some inside information? Do they have any intention to actually just switch to AI mode, period?
Yep, it's in 2 years.
In 2 years?
2 years. Next month and the next 3 months, they're going to start integrating some blue links. So people that technically may have sponsored ads, they'll be placed into AI mode. But 2 years from now, it'll be completely integrated. So you won't have the search anymore. Those days are over.
You just have a chat.
You'll just have a chat bot. But whenever you ask it a question, it will have some links.
In the canvas.
Yep, in there. So again, the whole philosophical debate is, do ads even you need to be important now? Google will find a way, right? Because they'll offer a premium in the new AI to say, all right, we'll mention this 20 times for this inquiry per month, give us $5,000. And it will do it. When someone asks for something like a bike shop, if we're going to use that, I'm looking for this type of bike. Oh, this place has got that. Oh, this one has that. This one has that. It'll be placed at the top of the AI mentioned. It'll be placed at the top of AI mode. That's going to happen very quickly, right?
Yeah.
But like I said before, we'll have the convergence event. 2030 is the convergence, right? People will start to go to other LLMs like they already are doing. They have to adapt to new ads as well. And we've already seen this with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is offering a premium account for merchant business owners. You can pay a premium and ChatGPT will suggest your product as a product that you're selling into the LLM, into the AI bot. That's already happened now.
Fine-tuning type of.
Yep, and you will pay a premium for it. It's already happened, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't compete. You just have to compete on what makes you unique. That's what LLMs, you can't pay for that. You either have it or you don't, right? So again, we have low authority, low visibility. Authority is still going to be a thing. It's still going to be important. You have to let your business grow by putting it into local citations. BBB, Yellow Pages, Manta, Hot Frog. These are all simple, massive business citation directories. One weekend, I guarantee you go up in authority, which is basically, domain authority is something that SEOs use as a scorecard for every website. It's out of 100, right? Every website gains authority by how much they actually grow in traffic, backlinks, referring domains. There's a couple metrics in the SEO world that we use. But I can tell if a business website is competing by if they actually did some of the work in growing the website. Most websites have less than 20 backlinks. Most websites don't know what their keywords are. They don't even know how many people come to their website per month.
It's just like Instagram.
It's one of those things that it's the deterring, it's very simple to grow over time, and after you start doing it, after it's been done and it's part of the process, you will start to see more people come from AI, because AI is using the same metrics to determine who is trusted. If you have no keywords, you have no backlinks, you have no traffic to your website, how do you expect an LLM to find you? You're not going to be seen. And you're going to be scratching your head and be like, I don't know what's going on. No one has come from AI to my business website in 2 years or even 2 months. Well, there's a process with your website. You have to grow it. So, Google and AI systems, now, they prioritize. We're going to get to more of the specific structure, right? H1 to H3 title tags. These are the bedrock HTML for every single website. Every website has to have an H1 somewhere. It's in the hero section, it's at the top. This is the piece of copy for your website. You should be willing to try one set of words and change it. You've got to get comfortable with changing this. You don't know what's working until it's working, but everything from the H1, the most important piece of copy for your business, H2 supports it. So we're the best bike shop in Las Vegas. The H2 underneath that should say why we are the best. 10 years of experience, 100,000 customers. The H3 supports the H2. So it becomes, this is my statement, I'm saying it because of this, and I'm saying this because of this, right? It's a structured copy placement. Everything has to have its own place. It's a Lego set. But you have to be willing to change it, because if you don't change it, you're not going to see a change in results. If you change it the right way, you'll see good results. If you change it and it doesn't work, well, then it didn't work, right? The next part is a thing called schema markup. Schema markup in the old SEO wasn't really an important thing. It's a JavaScript program that helps bots index a website. It's more important now with LLMs, more than ever before, because you want to spend as less time with your website being thought of how to be indexed. You want to give Google and LLMs everything that your business does right off the bat with schema. If you do it right, you don't have to worry about whether or not it's being seen, because you'll start seeing results. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but this is just food to my soul, right? So basically, people that have had websites for X amount of time, and maybe this technology is just not up to this new thing, they're going to have to redo it, right?
Yeah. Even those that are not seeing results have to start looking at, can't be afraid to change their website. It just can't be. However, this is for desktop. The rules are different with mobile. Mobile websites need to be even more scrutinized, because you don't have a whole lot of memory and you don't have a whole lot of space to convince someone that your business is the best. So you have to take what you do for your desktop and you have to really scrutinize it for your mobile. Most businesses, 70% of your customers are going to find you on mobile in the first place. Most. Especially if in certain industries, that's all it's going to be, is just your mobile. So again, if you have animations, you have rollovers, you have a movie, and you see it on your mobile, got to get rid of it. You've got 3 seconds to convince someone on your business from their phone whether or not they're going to do this motion and scroll down. You got 3 seconds. So it better be very, very meticulous, very strategized as to how you're going to convince someone that you are worth this, right? So, moving on to the trusted sources. Even in today's AI world, trust is a very important thing. We have a thing called the ERS, the Embedded Relevance Score. This is a metric just like the rank brain from the old SEO, the old search results. This is for LLMs. The Embedded Relevance Score is a score given to the meaning behind the copy of your website, all right? So instead of being declarative and saying, I'm the best at what this is, the Embedded Relevance Score is actually going to give you a score as to whether or not you actually earned it, right? So how do you earn it? Well, you earn it from people coming to your website, but you also earn it from socials. You also earn it from being a part of Reddit. You also earn it from having a YouTube channel. You also earn it from other entities that reinforce people coming to your website. You do that enough, you do it consistently, that embedded relevance score is going to go up, and you will get chunked. Partitions of your business are going to get seen by LLMs more frequently, right? If your website lacks structure or history, AI skips over it. It doesn't matter if you have a great design or nice copy. If it's unstructured, it's unseen. Good.
No, for some reason I'm the most popular real estate broker in China as of late, and Taiwan. I'm getting hundreds. They're probably trying to rip me off. I don't know how, but I'm sure they are. Anyways, well, that traffic from other countries, the billion people, or bots or whatever they are that come to my website from China, that can hurt me, help me.
It's not going to hurt you because this is another gift of LLMs. LLMs and Google have completely removed what's just called the H language tag. So if you didn't want to be seen in China back in 10 years ago, you wouldn't build a subset of your business in the Chinese language. That code is gone, which means we have translatable universal websites. Now anyone can click a button on your website and translate the copy in real time. That's why you're getting traffic from other countries. And it's a good thing that first of all, let's look at the mathematics. Someone somewhere came to your website. That's a good one. That's a good thing. It may not have been in a place that you wanted to be seen, but you're being seen. So what does that mean? You're indexed, you're being seen, you're being searched, right? The next step would be, are you being seen through AI? Because that's a little more work, there's a little more programming. But right now you have 3 big wins because you're searched by someone on the planet, and they've actually come to your website for a reason, right? And that's the thing about SEO is it's not the optimum results, it's the little results that we get that add up to the big win, right? Now, if you wanted to go deeper into the rabbit hole, you could actually go to the places that the Chinese people went to and from. Where did they come from to come to your website? Were they looking up real estate in Las Vegas? Maybe there's something to say about making content that's directed towards that, if it's a big enough number. Because if you have a population of 100 visits from China in a month, if you were to make content for people coming from China to look at real estate here, and you started making content, at least 50% of that 100 would see it. Right? So there's a lot more to it than it's the mathematics behind it, right? But it's a good win. Now you need to direct it into the United States.
Probably.
Right.
Go have to, because he just said the translator.
All right. So, how do you get seen? This is the big question. I get this quite often, and it's pretty simple. It's not hard. This isn't hard. This isn't upper level mathematics or linguistics. It's breaking down what you do that's different than everybody else and why you solve the problem better than anyone. Period. Right? being visible is not being necessarily visible by AI. It's being visible by other people. That's the true question. How are you getting seen by other people? AI is going to pay attention and reward accordingly down the line. But does that mean that the person that goes out and meets 100 people and hands out 100 business cards, does that mean that their website is successful? No. You may get those people to take your business card and go and look on your website. That's a direct SEO metrics. But what is it that you need to say that provides you an undeniable truth that you are the best, right? And not only that, how do you prove it? Who else thinks you're the best? What have they done for your business? Have they given a testimonial? Have they filled out a form? Did they leave you a 5-star Google business review? Those are the things that add up to what is called the equity of the SEO world. We are beyond just having a website. We have to look at everything that brings people outside of the website and bring people back into the website, right? Again, it's a strategy. You got it. It's an important element of your business equity to take the time and look at your website as if you were a customer. Would you buy from yourself? Would you be convinced from your own website that you are the best at what you do? And then, if you have social links behind it, have you proven through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, have you proven that you are the best? If that answer is no, now you know where the strategy comes to. Now you know where to go. Go ahead.
All right. It just popped in my mind. I gotta ask you this. I've been wanting to know this forever. Certain websites. Now remember when they started putting a little search bar in the display?
Yep.
And then you got certain websites, they stack the links up a certain way, and then the other ones, they put no other links, it's just one link.
Yep.
What determines Google, because of course it's a more professional display because it gives you a better display. What determines that you get those links to make that, like, does it just happen by itself? Is it something you can do to make that happen? Is it got something
it's in the old school. So we're talking something that's in the old algorithms.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it was pretty simple, and it still is pretty simple for it. It was based upon the domain rating. If you had domain rating, like I said, the 0 to 100 score, if you had enough high domain rating, your website was going to get linked, period. Now, it's about your Reddits. Your Reddit account. How many of you have a Reddit account? How many use Reddit? How many contribute to Reddit? LLMs pull from Reddit. It's their open source database. So if you contribute to Reddit, you have a better than 50% chance of your answers and who you are to be seen by the inquiries on LLMs and short form videos. That's the next part. So, good.
What should you be posting on Reddit?
Never post your business. Never post a link to your business. You will get flagged and your account will get taken down. But you can use Reddit to answer questions about real estate. Some specific knowledge that you know about real estate that either affects new home buyers or people trying to sell or people putting their house into a trust. Look at those questions and answer the best possible way you can. Be specific, and even to the point of using links, not for your business, but for places outside of your content that you're writing to go to actual data that reinforces your argument or your reason for what you're saying. Reddit is the key, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, right? Any other questions? Okay. So my last slide, I like to kind of nerd out a little bit. And in the old SEO world, we kind of thought of ourselves as mechanics. A car would come in, we would put it on up on the lift, we'd say, oh, this backlinks are, we need to replace this. Oh, we need to put a new image on here. Oh, we need to change the tires. We need to do these simple things by taking something out and replacing it with something better. And we kind of thought that this was how we would explain the industry to people. AI completely changed that. It is not a mechanic anymore. SEOs are chemists. We see these things as more of an element, right? And one group, SEM Rush, came out with a brilliant GEO periodic table of elements. Everything about SEO in the SEO world can be completely explained in the periodic table of GEO elements. So let's take a look at some of them. AI visibility score in clicks. If you don't get clicks to your website, that is basically the oxygen for your business. It's the reason why it's at the very top. It's probably one of the most important attributes you can have for your business. The next column, the tactics, right? Competitor research. You still have to find who's in your space. You still have to find who is actually doing what you do and do it better or do it differently. Right? Next column is the acronyms. These are the acronyms of the new SEO. Artificial intelligence, large language models, AI marketing, which is now, basically what I'm doing right now, AI search. Next column is the acronyms. These are the LLMs. The pinks are the toxics. These are the things you want to stay away from, right? The toxic elements of the new SEO, right? So no relevance, zero click, like we just mentioned. SEO is enough. SEO is dead. All these things that they have to be there because they're part of the entire ecosystem of SEO, but they're toxic. If you believe in it, or you're saying, well, yeah, SEO is dead. No, it's not. We have a whole table right here of all the things that are needed to be understood as to how a website is seen by AI. And then we have the enterprise and we have the tools. I wanted to show this because this is how SEO has evolved. It's not simple anymore. It's just a little more complex than it was before. It takes strategy. It takes an understanding of these elements. And if you understand the elements, you can see how you're going to piece. How would you acquire clicks from the tactics? Because if you use the right amount of tactics, you'll get clicks. If you understand the acronyms, you'll understand the metrics. So, any questions? Nope.
How did you find that? Because you're an expert.
Yeah, because I'm part of a lot of different forums and Discords and stuff. And one guy posted it up, and I was like, I have to show this because that is the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. And
Yeah, that's super cool.
I absolutely loved it, and it's better than my old acronym of like the plant growing, because I used to have that before the AI world, and I was like, I'm just going to show this because this is awesome. Go ahead.
Is all the AI SEO ever changing, or is it just kind of what it is, and maybe minor fluctuations?
It's both. There's a lot of things, because I know you've been to a lot of my presentations. There are things that I was talking about a year ago that are still relevant today. But there are things that I talked about a year ago that are absolutely gone. They'll never come back, right? So, and the reason why I did this presentation was because you don't have to worry about whether or not you get seen by AI if you don't do the work first, right? It's all an element of how you are different, right? And you're in real estate, which is a very competitive industry. So your message has to be extremely surgical, and it has to be completely reinforced all the time, right? Because it's not because there's anything bad with the industry. It's that you're up against so many people. It's so many people in that realm. And again, this is where the research comes in. What is the simplest solution to a problem? Like, I want to buy a house. So many people are talking about making blogs about that first step, but people want something even simpler. what is it, the first person that they need to talk to before a real estate agent? You know what I mean? Because the more that you can talk to the person on the very first step, that solves the problem right there. You could be the expert on the first step to buying a house, right? Or you could be the expert on selling a house. You want to retire, you're done, you want to sell your house. Hey, this is the first step, right? And you talk about it. And you keep going if people are responding, or you move on to something else. So it's an unfortunate fact that, and again, a lot of websites haven't heard this. A lot of website owners have not heard how this new system works. They just haven't. They looked on Google and they said, oh, well, put your keywords on the bottom of the web page and stack them. Have everything that's associated with your business at the very bottom. That's called keyword stuffing.
I remember those days.
That was eliminated with 3 algorithm updates in like 2019. It was gone, right? And they penalized. Google penalized you if you did this.
Wait, that was like still working up till 2019?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now the old school method, and the really crazy old school method from like the early 2000s, was to keyword stuff and then change the font color to the color of the background. So then it was put into HTML, but it wasn't seen.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Don't they
They penalized.
for that?
Yep, penalized. Yep.
I just did that last night, but it wasn't for SEO purposes.
Yeah. So and again, this is why I present. I want people to know that the AI world isn't going away anytime soon. It's here, and it's going to get more complex. But that doesn't mean that you can't figure out why you do what you do, right? That's something AI, Google cannot interfere with. Why are you doing it, and what makes you better than anybody else? And just because you said it here, now you have to prove it. You have to let people, your customers, even if you had customers right now, hey, can you send me a quick little testimonial video? Hey, can you leave me a review? Hey, can you give me 3 sentences about your experience with me? Copy, paste it, put it on the website. There's a place for it at the very bottom, the testimonial place. There's a reason why that ranks in AI, because it's relevant, right? It establishes the trust of what your brand is. Yes?
If you put a statement out there, does it mean any more or less if you identify who said it?
For a testimonial? It depends. You hear that a lot from an SEO. If it's a person, not necessarily. If it's a company, you link it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that gives you a external link to a business, and if that business is whatever business, if they have a website, that's called a backlink.
Okay.
Now, if you can establish that with people that you've worked with, or people at a job that led you to going into your own business, co-workers, the name and link to the company in the testimonial. Now, the next step would be socials, an Instagram post, a short form video, and then link your website in the content of that testimonial back to your website. So, again, I said this last month, SEO and socials are a symbiotic relationship now. You cannot rank and be seen by the LLM without a social profile. But that doesn't mean your quest is to go viral. Because if you jump in the Bellagio pool, yeah, you'll go viral. But then it goes away because people think you're crazy. But establishing who you are, why you do what you do on the socials consistently, that proves to the LLMs that you're worth mentioning, right? And again, we still have to get out of this notion that I wrote a bio about me being the business owner that's 4 paragraphs long. LLMs do not care about that. They care about what you have learned. Why do you do what you do? How many years have you been doing it? What did you learn in those years? Not only do you put that into the bio of your website, but you create content around it. blogs, right? Anyone here could write 30, 40 blogs just on what they've learned before starting their business. And that in itself creates relevancy, visibility, and trust. It also adds to commercial search intent, right? Because if someone's continually reading what you're saying about your experience, they're more likely to read the whole thing, and then you put a link to your website or to other subsequent articles, and they continue to stay on your website. Yes?
Just to echo that, I was reading, because I was kind of curious about like, the ramp up in lifetime of SEO. Like if you continue to do it correctly, is it true that some of those better pieces of content can actually continue to add value like over a year or a year and a half?
Evergreen content is exactly what you're talking about. If you write a blog post that has consequent elements of what you do, your experience is something new about the industry and what you provide, and it gets 10 views right off the bat, and it continues month over month, 12, 15, 20, 15 views, that's evergreen content. You could never touch it again, and it still continues to grow. You cannot do that with paid ads. You do it one time in organic SEO, and it doesn't stop growing. Now, what you also do, once it gets to a certain point, is you take the elements of that blog and you break it into smaller, more specific niche blogs that reinforce the evergreen. Now you have internal structure. Because someone that wants to know something specific, they may want to have a question about another topic that you covered that subsequently supports that. And now you have a cycle effect. Again, this is why internal structuring is one of the most important elements, because the more that you write on your content, the more that you talk about your specific knowledge, your Gnostic knowledge of your business, you have a better chance of being chunked by LLMs because you just have more trust, right? And again, that is why a business website is a continually growing entity. It is never a set it and forget it. It's never going to be that way. AI has definitely put the stake in the ground and said, if you're going to make a business website, what are you doing today to let people know to trust you, and how are you converting people on a human-to-human level? Good.
So many questions. So when you were just mentioning that, right, I'm thinking about, I design and develop websites. So I'm thinking like, okay, cool, we're adding a blog, there's going to be lots of good content there, maybe like we're refreshing the homepage as things change in our business, but like, how does what you just said affect something like a service page? Like the service I offer on this particular page, a lot of businesses like, hey, look, I'm a plumber. One of the things I do is I change water heaters or whatever. I feel like that page may not change for quite a long time. Like, is that something you should revisit like every few months, or is it like okay to like just build other content?
So there are certain industries where you can get away with that. Home services is one of the big ones. A plumber, landscaper, I mean, what new Gnostic knowledge about landscaping does someone need to know today, right? However, the testimonials, before and after photos, reviews, that's the content. People want to see what they're getting before they actually get it. Now, if it's a service like marketing or SEO, I can't really do a before and after of a website and talk about the testimonials. I have to do case studies. I have to let people know they came to me with this problem. I came up with this solution through the chemistry of AI, and this is the result. I don't have any before and after pictures.
I mean, you could screenshot some schema.
Exactly, you could, but who's going to want to read? Exactly. Other SEOs will read that, but not the people that want me to work with them. So, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, say in this situation, you go to Mexico for a month and you stop posting on social media completely, and you notice, the business keeps running, but all the social stuff and all that comes to a halt for a month and a half, whatever. Now, what do you do to recover from that lapse of posting and whatever?
You talk about being in Mexico and what you talked about in your internal dialogue and what you needed a break because you've been doing this for so long, and you have, even if you took a break, it doesn't give you a break. It gives you another opportunity. You know what I mean? So you go on vacation for a month or for a week. Right. You come back and you be like, oh, I feel refreshed. I'm ready to get started again. Oh, it's great to get away from, you know, all this hard work that I'm doing. You know what? I'm ready to hear from you right now. Give me a call. Yeah, just go with it. And again, it's all relative, right? So do the customers that are looking to buy a house with you, do they care that you went to Mexico? No, but they care about the fact that you are refreshed. You're rejuvenated. You're ready to get started. Get in contact with me so that we can get started on getting your house sold or renovated or whatever it takes, right? That's how it works, right? But the one thing you don't do is you don't completely stop. You have to do something.
What do you mean, social media?
Yeah.
So, okay, it's kind of off his idea, but I hate 100% Mark Zuckerberg and everybody that's over here at Facebook.
Okay.
And Instagram, because they linked up with Mark, right? Okay. So I want my company to have nothing to do with social media. How does that hurt me?
How does it hurt you? Well, you're cutting off, you know, I mean, hypothetically, no one will know that you exist.
No one will know why I exist.
Other than the people that you meet.
In the real regular world.
You'll be a speakeasy on the internet. You'll be like a speakeasy on the internet.
What's that?
Nobody knows until they're there.
So you're saying, if we don't sell our souls to the social media devil, we're devil.
Yeah, do you want to be successful? Because that's what it takes. It's a labor of love. That's the way it's supposed to be looked at. If you're not in it to win it, then find something that you're in it to win it with.
So you mean if I have the most kicked technology in the world and I don't like Elon Musk, so I won't touch X, that means ChatGPT is going to lie and put that guy over there and say he's better than mine?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's part of the relationship. It doesn't, the socials add to the awareness top of the funnel. That's what they're designed for. How do people know that you're different than anybody else? Once they click the link, then they come to your website. That's all marketing funnel. That's all 101 stuff. But if you take off one of the top funnels, you have to rely so much on word of mouth, on direct promotion. I mean, if you're not going to do the socials, then go to a print shop and print off 1,000 flyers and put them all over the town. Because that's the old school social media. That's the old way of doing it. Again, you're going to spend $500 on 1,000 pieces of promo and staple it all over Charleston and down on the strip in Summerlin and everything, or start a social media page and talk about what you do.
Now, that part I don't disagree with.
Okay.
I disagree with this dance that they're doing right now.
Yeah, but you're not.
I don't want to be around that.
You don't have to do it. Just don't jump in the Bellagio pool. You'll be fine. Everyone will be fine if they stay away from the pool. Go ahead.
I have two questions. Does it matter how many pages your website is? Fewer, better?
Bigger, so it depends on your industry, right? It's always better to start smaller and grow as you see the data showing that they need to know more about certain things. Again, this is another old school tactic from 10 years ago, was that just create 1,000 pages and put something on there, and therefore Google will rank you. It worked for maybe a year and a half. LLMs don't do that anymore. LLMs only reward the words, not the paragraphs, not the pages, the words that you were using to convince someone to stay on the page or to make an action, to call you, come into the door, right? And the biggest honesty about the SEO world and what I do, my job stops when someone picks up the phone and calls you. My job stops when they walk in through the door and they sit down. My job is to get people to come in or call you. Once they come into the door, once they've called you, filled out the form, now it's your customer. That's yours. And you got to figure out how you're going to nurture that, right?
That's then taking them on a trip through your sales funnel or whatever.
Yep.
And then, you know, extolling the virtues of your products and services.
Yep. right? And it's not an SEO's responsibility is to take what that product is and convince as many different types of audiences that this is the solution that they need, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a product, service, anything. That SEO is completely obtuse when it comes to what the specifics are.
SEO is the peak interest.
Right. And it's honestly, we all compete with our own clients as to who says what better, right? Now, in the specifics of SEO, there's little things that we learn and along the way, little tricks that we can do to promote this and say this. But honestly, most of this industry comes down to three things: statistics, psychology, and sociology. That's it. So if you have strength in those things, you'll be fine because you'll know what to say and you'll know what the data supports. But again, that's SEO stops once they walked in through that door. Good.
So with all the AI tools, like where you can generate images and stuff, does adding like the AI images onto your website, does it impact your SEO?
Oh, that's a really good question. So AI generated content in the most generic terms is a bad thing because LLMs will know that it's a generated photo. However, I wouldn't do it if you have the opportunity to get high definition photos for your website. Could you get away with it on socials? Maybe, but I wouldn't do it for a long time. I'd do it every once in a while. I mean, if you have to fill in the gap for posting on a Wednesday afternoon, fine. You can go ahead and do it. But if it's in your website, no. I wouldn't do it.
Can I say something?
Good.
Those things are beautiful. Those videos and stuff, fun to watch, right? But if you go to a site like Airbnb, you don't expect to see any of that, right? Am I correct?
You're right, yeah. Because high definition photos, the biggest thing about photos on a website is called the alt tag, right? Alt tag is a piece of copy that subsequently lets an LLM or a search engine know what the actual photo is. And it's for disabilities, right? So someone that's blind, you need to have an alt tag to describe the photo. That's more important than almost the photo itself. Now, there was a case study about 1.5 years ago that directly correlated to photos. So I'll break it down real quick. The case study was the selling of toy cars in the state of Connecticut. And what they did is they had 4 different toy shops, and then they opened it up to anyone that wanted to be a part of this case study. And what they did is they said, okay, you're only going to post this on your Google My Business profile. You can say anything about the car in the alt tag. And they let it run. They let it run for 3 months. The winner of this case study was an antique shop in Connecticut. Didn't even sell cars. But the photo that they used was a glass table with little antique cars, and it had lights, and it had shadow effect underneath it. Everyone went and searched that antique shop, not because they were selling the cars, but because the photo looked so good. And they won this contest. And it was used as a case study for every single local SEO person to say, it has nothing to do with what you're selling. It's how good you make it look, right? That's the whole point. That's why photos are important, but don't ever generate AI photos and put it in your Google Business profile.
What? What do you mean?
Don't use AI imagery in your Google My Business profile.
That means I gotta take every picture I got in there. Except for the 2 chairs.
I'm telling you, yeah. I get this all the time. Once a month for these presentations, I get people coming to me and say, I have more homework coming to your presentation than I have for the whole rest of the month.
Why would it affect the business profile?
Because LLMs will not reward an AI-generated image. They're not going to do it. They know what they create, right? Especially if you use Gemini. If you use Gemini or Sora, you're telling the LLMs, I don't want to take an actual good photo. I want you to generate me a photo on what my business does. You see? Exactly. It doesn't trust it. And again, LLMs reward those that have relevancy, visibility, and trust. What's the trust in an AI-generated image? Where's the trust? Where's the relevance?
You gotta appreciate that, though.
Yeah? But again, I would never, it just wouldn't work.
No, but I'm saying you gotta trust that LLMs are doing the right thing.
Oh yeah, it's all programmed in. Oh my goodness, yes. And that's just on the right now, right? We don't know where this is gonna go in the next 2-3 years as far as what is rewarded content as to what someone that tried to game the system and have a blog be written by an LLM that's 10,000 words and then post it. We know this now that you're not going to get anything out of it. But still, there is some ways that you can have it help you with your content. And the big thing is, if you know that you're going to be writing a blog, have the LLM write it in an interview. Write it in an interview format and make it a document and type your answers. That way you're using the LLMs for your advantage, but you're not having it create the content. It's only creating the questions. And then you take those questions and those become your H2s and your H3s. That's the only way I've seen it work. And that's what I do consistently, but it's the only way that you'll ever grow more views with using AI to help you. Question?
This is important, but I forgot. Okay, in the words of Bill Gates, he said his last dollar was spent on the press release. How is it affecting the whole press release situation? And you know, a lot of these companies just kind of, whatever. But you know, the news section is on Google, that's not on the search engine.
Yep.
How does this all affect the press release situation? Should we continue spending money on press releases to, for more exposure, or maybe go to AI with it?
PR is going to have a renaissance in the next year, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
The reason is those that have been doing PR before the advent of the major AI are still going to have the contacts for those web pages that display the PR, right? They're still going to have that. They're going to go through the vortex. You absolutely have to have PR. You have to have it. You have to know somebody, right? Once you get to a point of all this elementary SEO stuff that I'm talking about, once you have established AI mentions and it's dataed, right? You know how many people came to you from ChatGPT or Google or Gemini. Now you need digital PR. That's the next step. And it isn't going to change, right? Good.
So my company, the current company we're operating on, we took over in late 2015. We have over 1,000 press releases, although our name has changed along the way. And we have press releases that announce that. But I would think that would be a valuable resource because it talks specifically in those press releases all the different things.
Yep.
Us and our subsidiaries.
There's SEO services that just rely on PR. There are SEOs that built their entire industry just on who they know in the PR industry. And they sell $15-20 a press release for just a generic press release. Any of the big majors, you can add zeros and commas. That's how valuable it is, right? But you got to do something,
But I'm senior management says, well, some of that stuff back in 2016 and 17, we want to get rid of it because it's not pertinent today, and that's a matter of talk about our adventure, and that's actual content that is also out on the rest of the internet. That it's sitting on Business Wire, it's sitting on PR Newswire, and we have it on our website. We have it downloaded. It's not a link back to that.
Right. Yeah, and that's the next evolution, is taking whatever that press release is and making a backlink out of it. That's the whole point. But PR is, in my opinion, it has separated itself from SEO because PR professionals know that they need to start selling to SEOs because we all know in this industry that's the next step. After we get into that growth phase, after we see sustainment of traffic and LLM mentions, it's over. We have to let other people know. We have to expand the territory, and PR is really the only way. But most people, again, that say I want to get mentioned in AI, we haven't even established the kindergarten level metrics to even get to that discussion. So we're talking PR, which is kindergarten through high school, college level results, and now graduate level results is PR. So that's where we're at in this whole time frame. Go ahead.
Well, if it means you're starting up a new business or maybe evolving a business, I mean, you could be doing both at the same time, right? Like you're still,
You could.
You're
Yep.
working on your elementary SEO, but like you're still doing your PR, you're still doing like...
You absolutely can. And again, you don't have to wait. And again, this is the same argument with ads. Ads in the beginning of a website don't make a whole lot of sense. What are you targeting? You're picking words because you're having AI and the Google ads pick it for you. But if you wait and you give yourself time to grow organically, now you know exactly what you need to spend your money on, and you'll be more efficient. You'll take that $1 or that $10 or $100 and you'll be able to place it in some place that you know you can't rank for yet, but you're willing to rent it for that time frame. That's the next part. And then once that is established, yes, PR, it just has to happen. But there are a lot of different flavors of PR. There's getting a couple for $50. There's a couple for $100. You can get one on Wall Street Journal for $1,000. You know, there's a whole ecosystem when it comes to PR, but that happens after we've established backlinks. Because if you don't have backlinks, if you don't have the back end promotion of your business, the PR is a waste of money. It's not going to go anywhere. That's why it's graduate level stuff. All right, wrap it up. Again, thank you all for coming and asking questions and dealing with this crazy, nerdy AI stuff. I had my stuff up there, but I can have a card if you want to come in and see me and grab my card afterwards. But again, thank you very much for coming. Thank you.